China, where a single stroke on the map hides an entire mystical universe. China appears not just as a closed border on a map, but as a continent in constant motion under a single great name. From the sacred snow-capped Tibetan plateaus to the scorched expanses of the Xinjiang desert, then descending to fertile plains and the brightly lit horizons of Shanghai. The terrain here changes continuously, like hundreds of miniature worlds skillfully placed side by side in one vivid space. Hidden behind that boundary is the rhythm of life for over 1.4 billion people across 56 ethnic groups, where countless value systems and languages resonate within a unique national structure. There, Confucian thought silently shapes households, and Buddhist and Taoist philosophies are carved into every upturned temple roof. Meanwhile, the marks of great dynasties still appear in the planning of ancient capitals. Yet, right alongside these thousand-year-old heritages, high-speed rail networks through the clouds and artificial intelligence are painting a staggering face of the future. The deeper you venture into the interior, the more layers of landscape and culture will unfold like secret doors, leading travelers to parallel worlds that seem impossible to coexist under one sky. And all these magnificent things are just the opening chapter of an enchanting journey of discovery awaiting you ahead. HUANGSHAN, the mountain that steps out from the ink-wash paintings of the immortals. Located in Anhui Province, HUANGSHAN rises like a proud symbol of China's mountains and rivers, covering a heritage area of more than 62 square miles with dozens of sky-piercing peaks. Among them, Lianhua Peak, the highest peak at an elevation of 6,102 feet, serves as a giant observation deck where visitors can take in the full majesty of the overlapping mountains. Thanks to its unique granite geology and pristine ecosystem, in 1990, UNESCO officially honored this place as a World Natural Heritage Site. The soul of HUANGSHAN is crystallized in the name Four Wonders: strange pines, strange rocks, sea of clouds, and hot springs. The ancient pine branches cling tenaciously to the steep rock cliffs, carving out bizarre shapes that have entered thousand-year-old paintings. Especially when the white cloud belt surges in after the rain, the mountain peaks suddenly become illusory islands floating between reality and dream. Hidden among the rock slopes is the natural hot spring stream, bringing gentle comfort to the soul after the conquering journey. The marvelous intersection between terrain and climate has turned HUANGSHAN not only into a tourist spot, but also an endless source of inspiration for poetry and classic films of East Asian culture. WANGXIAN Valley, the immortal realm. Hanging between the rock cliffs, WANGXIAN Valley appears like a landscape painting rendered in stone, water, and mist. From the entrance, vertical cliffs close in to form a deep gorge, with a crystal-clear stream meandering below, its water shimmering like jade, breaking into countless tiny ripples at the slightest touch of a rock. The sound of trickling water echoes throughout the valley, sometimes a whisper, sometimes thundering against the cliffs like a distant drum. Going deeper, WANGXIAN waterfall pours down from a great height, a white curtain of water falling straight into the heart of the mountain. Standing at the foot of the falls, fine water spray like cold rain brushes the face, and sunlight filtering through the droplets creates ethereal halos, making the entire valley feel as if it is gently vibrating. High above, the glass skywalk clings to the mountainside like a thin, transparent thread suspended in mid-air. From here, looking down, the waterfalls, streams, fields, and houses at the foot of the mountain shrink into a panoramic masterpiece. The white crane cliff reaches straight into the sky, adorned with guest rooms, libraries, and glass observation decks that seem to cling to the air, shining brightly amidst the dark mountain backdrop at night. Below, the quiet WANGXIAN ancient town features winding alleys, moss-covered tiled roofs, and thin wisps of kitchen smoke rising among trees and mountains. The four seasons take turns coloring the valley: spring flowers, lush summer green, pale autumn gold, and silent winter, making WANGXIAN Valley always seem to stop at its most beautiful moment. LONGJING Tea Hill, the green hill where tea leaves were named Imperial Tribute. Nestled on the southwest slopes of the Westlake Scenic Area, LONGJING Tea Hill appears like a giant outdoor tea workshop, where a village of more than 800 people lives alongside nearly 800 acres of tea fields stretching along the gentle slopes. The terrain slopes gradually from south to north, with high mountains behind, blocking the northwest winds, creating a mild and airy microclimate. This natural protection helps LONGJING tea buds grow slowly, accumulating flavor, making it one of the most famous teas in China. Since the Qing dynasty, LONGJING has been linked to the story of Emperor Qianlong stopping at Hugong Temple under Lion Mountain, enjoying the tea and bestowing imperial status on 18 tea trees in front of the temple as royalty. Today, that story is still told beside the terraced tea fields, where each spring and autumn, villagers climb the hill to pick young buds in the morning, then hand roast the tea using traditional methods. LONGJING tea is praised for its four wonders: fresh green color, elegant aroma, sweet aftertaste, and flat, straight bud shape. When brewed, the tea water is clear with a slight green tint, the aroma light but deep, the initial bitterness on the tongue quickly turning into gentle sweetness. Every cup of tea is therefore not just a drink, but the essence of climate, terrain, history, and the skill of a small village nestled beside Westlake. Tea drinking culture, the secret hidden behind a small cup of water that controls the rhythm of Chinese life. When people mention tea ceremony, they often think of Japan with its precise rituals and quiet spaces. But few know that in China, the homeland of the tea plant, the art of drinking tea carries a very distinct spirit: gentle, profound, and full of life philosophy. Gongfu cha, kung fu tea, is not simply brewing tea. It is a ceremony where every movement requires meticulous care, from selecting the tea leaves, clean water, adjusting temperature, to using exquisitely crafted ceramic teapots and cups. Each pour makes the tea flavor change, gentler, richer, reflecting the drinker's emotions. Unlike the solemn style of Japanese tea ceremony, Chinese tea ceremony carries Zen in motion. When water trickles into the pot, when the tea aroma spreads lightly in the air, all worries seem to melt away. The space is quiet, but not empty. It is filled with the presence of the moment. The four words, harmony, respect, purity, tranquility, are not slogans, but the spirit of tea. Living in harmony, respecting each other, keeping a pure heart, and knowing when to be silent. Kung Fu tea is not only for connoisseurs, it is a way to slow down, to listen to yourself. In the light aroma, you can find the gentle awakening that modern life often loses. Shenyang Imperial Palace, the secret version of the Forbidden City hidden in the cold north. The Shenyang Imperial Palace is a royal palace complex located in the center of Shenyang City in northeast China. The palace was built starting in 1625 by Nurhaci and later expanded under his son Hong Taiji. It was once the imperial palace of the Qing dynasty before they moved the capital to Beijing in 1644. This architectural complex covers an area of approximately 646,000 square feet, notable for its red walls, yellow tile roofs, and a system of inner courtyards arranged along a symmetrical axis characteristic of Chinese palace architecture, similar to the layout of the Forbidden City. However, the architecture here has many unique features by blending traditional palace style with influences from Manchu and Mongolian culture. The most outstanding structure is the Dazheng Hall, an octagonal building rarely seen in Chinese palace architecture, surrounded by halls for high officials, creating a solemn space for court sessions. In addition, the Phoenix Tower is the tallest building in the palace, with multi-tiered curved roofs, large wooden columns, and exquisitely carved details. Inside the palace, there are also many wooden corridors, city gates, and large courtyards decorated elaborately, clearly showing the power and aesthetics of the Qing royal family. Ghost marriage, the wedding ceremony for souls that have not fulfilled their fate. In Chinese history, there once existed a special custom called Minghun, ghost marriage, a ceremony to organize a wedding for the deceased. This is not a legend, but a practice documented for many centuries, developing significantly during the Song dynasty. According to ancient folk beliefs, if a young person died unmarried, their soul would be lonely in the afterlife. Therefore, families might find another deceased person to match them with, or in some special cases, a living person would perform a symbolic wedding ceremony with the deceased. The ritual was organized similarly to a traditional wedding. There were betrothal gifts, an auspicious date was chosen, and figurines or spirit tablets were used to represent the bride and groom. However, since 1949, ghost marriage has been strictly prohibited by Chinese law. Today, the practice almost no longer exists publicly, only occasionally mentioned in cultural studies or legal cases involving violations of the law. Ghost marriage is thus not just a strange story, but also reflects how ancient people perceived marriage, family, and the afterlife, a unique slice of Chinese cultural history. TAIHU Lake, the vast mirror of water, reflecting poetry and ancient fishing villages. TAIHU Lake is one of the largest and most famous freshwater lakes in China, located in the Yangtze River Delta Plain between Jiangsu and Zhejiang provinces, near cities like Wuxi and Suzhou. With an area of approximately 869 square miles, it is the third largest freshwater lake in China, famous for its poetic natural scenery and long cultural history. The distinctive feature of TAIHU Lake is its vast water surface, dotted with dozens of small islands, creating a very characteristic scene of the River Lake region in southern China. The lake is also famous for its oddly shaped TAIHU limestone rocks, eroded by water and wind over thousands of years. These rocks are considered precious material in classical Chinese garden art, especially seen in the famous gardens of Suzhou. Besides its scenic value, TAIHU Lake is an important source of aquatic products and home to many traditional fishing villages. Thanks to its natural beauty and long cultural value, TAIHU Lake has long become a famous tourist destination and a source of inspiration for many poets and painters in Chinese history. WUZHEN, the ancient riverside town, like a village drifting in a dream. WUZHEN is a famous ancient town located in the north of Zhejiang province, China, near large cities like Hangzhou and Shanghai. The town has a history of more than 1,300 years and is considered one of the most beautiful ancient water towns in the Jiangnan region, where small canals interweave between rows of ancient wooden houses. One of WUZHEN's defining features is its network of canals, stone bridges, and old houses built right along the water, creating the characteristic scenery of the water towns of southern China. The houses here are mainly wooden structures with black-tiled roofs and balconies facing the canals, while arched stone bridges connect the old streets and neighborhoods. In the evening, hundreds of lanterns are lit along the canal banks, making the entire town shimmer in reflection on the water. Today, WUZHEN is preserved almost intact, with many stone-paved streets, ancient docks, and traditional handicraft workshops. This place is not only a famous tourist destination, but also a typical symbol of the architecture and lifestyle of ancient water towns in the Jiangnan region. SUZHOU silk and embroidery, where delicate silk threads record the glory of an imperial era. Silk and embroidery art have long held a special place in traditional Chinese culture. From planting mulberry trees, raising silkworms, spinning threads, to weaving fabric and embroidering patterns, an entire intricate handicraft process has been formed and preserved through many generations. Silk was not only a precious material in daily life, but was also once associated with high-end clothing, ceremonial items, and products for the nobility and imperial court. On soft and thin silk fabric, embroidery art developed into a highly aesthetic form of expression. Using just a needle and tiny threads, artisans could create landscapes, birds, flowers, or portraits with extremely high detail. The highlight of Chinese embroidery lies in the finesse of each stitch, the soft color blending, and the way images on the fabric come alive like paintings. Over time, many regions in China developed their own embroidery styles, adding richness to this art. But no matter where, silk and embroidery always reflect the patience, aesthetic sense, and masterful skill of the artisans. Therefore, the value of Chinese silk lies not only in the beauty of the material, but also in the cultural depth and long tradition embedded in every thread and every stitch. JINGDEZHEN, the village that once monopolized porcelain for the imperial court. Known as the porcelain capital of the world, JINGDEZHEN in Jiangxi province is where the kiln fires have never gone out for more than 1,700 years. It is not just a place name, but the heart of Chinese porcelain art, where masterpieces white as jade, bright as a mirror, thin as paper, and resonant as a bell were born. From the Tang dynasty through the Ming and Qing dynasties, the imperial kilns here held a monopoly on producing the most exquisite porcelain sets exclusively for emperors and nobility, before spreading worldwide via the maritime Silk Road. The appeal of JINGDEZHEN lies in the intersection between ancient history and contemporary artistic life. Visitors can witness the intricate handicraft process through 72 strict steps. A must-visit spot is the Imperial Kiln Museum, where the secrets of the legendary blue and white glaze are preserved. With its rich heritage and superior techniques, JINGDEZHEN is not only a place preserving the past, but also an eternal source of inspiration for human handicraft arts. HEILONGJIANG, the ice city where castles glow at night. Located at the northernmost point of China, HEILONGJIANG is not just a place on the map, but an epic of ice and extreme natural wonders. Named after the Black Dragon River, flowing along the Russia-China border, this land possesses a unique blend of Western Baroque dome architecture and the quiet depth of East Asia. The biggest highlight is Harbin, the iconic ice city, where giant ice blocks from the Songhua River are carved into radiant castles during the world's largest ice and snow festival. If you crave pristine nature, Mohe Village is the only place in China where you can hunt for the mysterious northern lights and experience a summer without night. Not only snow, Heilongjiang also hides extraordinary geological power at WUDAI, where lava flows from millions of years ago have cooled, creating a system of mineral lakes and bizarre rock caves like another planet. This is also the territory of the mighty Siberian tiger and the Zhalong wetlands, homeland of the noble red-crowned crane. From the harsh -40 degrees Fahrenheit cold to the vast taiga forests, Heilongjiang is a destination for souls craving to explore the ultimate limits of the natural world. The mystery of the Devil's Triangle. At Poyang Lake, with unexplained disappearances. Known as the Green Lung, regulating the flow of the Yangtze River, Poyang Lake in Jiangxi Province is the largest freshwater lake in China and one of the most important wetland ecosystems in the world. The most fascinating feature of the lake is its ability to change shape with the seasons. In summer, the water surface expands enormously like a real sea, but when winter comes, the water recedes to reveal lush green grasslands and fertile marshes. This spectacular transformation has created a paradise for migratory birds, turning the lake into a kingdom of cranes, with more than 95% of the world's white crane population gathering here each year. Not only possessing biological value, Poyang Lake also holds spiritual mysteries in the northern waters, known as the Devil's Triangle of the East. The Laoya Temple area is famous for mysterious ship disappearances and unusual violent waves, attracting the curiosity of scientists and explorers alike. In addition, the lake bottom hides historical relics like the longest stone bridge in China built during the Ming Dynasty, which only fully appears when the water level drops deep. With the combination of majestic natural beauty, migratory bird wonders, and unsolved historical puzzles, Poyang Lake is an unmissable destination for those wanting to explore the power and mystery of northern nature. The secret behind the color red and lucky numbers in China. In Chinese culture, colors and numbers are not just for decoration or calculation, but carry profound lucky meanings in daily life. The most prominent is red, the color appearing everywhere on important occasions like Chinese New Year, weddings, business openings, or traditional festivals. For Chinese people, red symbolizes joy, wealth, happiness, and warding off bad things. Therefore, from red envelopes, couplets, lanterns to wedding clothes, the color red is almost always present as a blessing for good fortune. Not only colors, Chinese people also greatly value the meaning of numbers. Among them, the number 8 is especially loved because its pronunciation is close to the word meaning prosperity and wealth. That is why many people willingly choose license plates, phone numbers, or opening dates with the number 8 in hopes of good luck. From colors to numbers, all show a cultural trait where even small symbols can reflect great belief in fortune and a bright future. The 4 great women of China, the roses who made the entire empire shake. Throughout thousands of years of feudal China, amid the shadow of male-dominant thinking, there were still powerful women who tore through the curtains to directly change the fate of the nation. At the top of the list is Lu Ji, the only founding empress of the Han Dynasty. From a gentle young lady, she transformed into an iron woman, single-handedly pacifying internal turmoil and even causing the war god Han Xin to die tragically. Third place goes to Empress Dowager Xiao of the Liao dynasty, an outstanding female strategist. She not only repelled the Song dynasty's invasion, but also created a long period of prosperity, while leaving a beautiful tale of a rare, perfect romance in the palace. The runner-up is WUZHEN, the only female emperor officially recognized in history. Ascending the throne at age 67, she used supreme intelligence to bring the Wuzhou dynasty to its peak of prosperity, laying the foundation for the golden age of the Tang dynasty afterward. However, the controversial champion position belongs to Empress Dowager Cixi. Although criticized as ruining the country and harming the people, she still amazed history by holding firm at the peak of power for 47 years. Amid the decaying Qing dynasty and foreign powers tearing it apart, the old Buddha's ability to seize power remains a great mystery, enough to overshadow every most famous name in history. LUSHAN, the mountain that makes poets of 1,000 years stand close yet still cannot see all its beauty. Nestled beside the Yangtze River and Poyang Lake in Jiangxi Province, LUSHAN Mountain is not only a geological scenic wonder, but also a brilliant symbol of Chinese culture and spirituality. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, it is famous for its otherworldly beauty of peaks rising and falling, hidden in year-round misty fog. The majesty of LUSHAN has become an endless source of inspiration for thousands of ancient poems, notably the immortal verses of Li Bai describing the Xianglu waterfall pouring down like the Milky Way falling from the ninth heaven. The unique feature of LUSHAN lies in its strange architectural blend. Amid the majestic nature are hundreds of Western-style villas from the modern era, creating a nostalgic city in the clouds. Visitors here cannot miss the three-step waterfall with its spectacular three-tiered flow over limestone or Hanyang Peak, the ideal spot to view the entire river-lake panorama. Not only scenery, LUSHAN is also the cradle of Pure Land Buddhism and home to the White Deer Cave Library, one of the 4 great academies of ancient China. With the perfect combination of steep cliffs, whispering pine forests, and thousands of years of history, LUSHAN is a destination that fully gathers the essence of heaven and earth and human wisdom. West Lake, the lake that once made poets and emperors fall in love. Long praised as paradise on earth, West Lake in Hangzhou is the perfect crystallization of natural beauty and the long cultural values of China. With a water surface area of more than 2.3 square miles, the lake is adorned with causeways named after great poets like Su Causeway and Bai Causeway, along with a system of stone bridges and exquisitely crafted artificial islands. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, it not only possesses charming scenery, but is also a living historical space where every breath of nature is linked to legends like the White Snake Tale at Leifeng Pagoda. The special appeal of West Lake lies in the 10 scenes of West Lake. 10 classic viewpoints that change with each season, from the vibrant pink lotus of Lotus in the Breeze at CUISINE to the serene 3 pools mirroring the moon under moonlight. Surrounding the lake are lush green tea hills, birthplace of the famous LONGJING tea, carrying the pure flavor characteristic of this land. From an architectural planning perspective, West Lake is the standard model for East Asian garden design, deeply influencing palaces in Japan and Korea. From the mirror-like calm water to the willow branches drooping along the shores, West Lake is the eternal symbol of elegant beauty and the perfect harmony between humans and nature. The 4 great inventions, the pillars that changed the face of humanity. The 4 great inventions of ancient China, paper, gunpowder, the compass, and printing, created a profound revolution that reshaped the entire course of world history. Papermaking, perfected by Kai Lun in the 2nd century, ended the era of storing knowledge on heavy bamboo slips or expensive silk. When combined with the movable type printing technique that developed strongly during the Song dynasty, knowledge was no longer the privilege of the upper class, but began to spread powerfully, driving an explosion of education and culture on a global scale. The compass first appeared as a positioning tool in spiritual rituals, before becoming the divine eye for voyages of 10,000 miles. Thanks to its precise direction-finding ability, trading fleets opened vital sea routes, connecting the mysterious East with the distant West. Meanwhile, gunpowder was an accidental discovery by Taoist priests while refining elixirs in search of immortality. From the early dazzling fireworks, gunpowder quickly transformed into firearms, permanently changing tactical thinking and the landscape of every war in history. The stature of the 4 great inventions goes far beyond the borders of one nation to become the common heritage of humanity. They are the important links that pulled the world out of the medieval Dark Ages and into the brilliant modern era. From the way we receive information through books to today's global positioning by satellite, everything carries the genetic code inherited from the great discoveries of the ancient Chinese. Shanghai, the most luxurious city in China. Shanghai is living proof of a spectacular transformation journey. From a tiny fishing village tucked away by the water, it has risen to become the richest, most populous city and the top modern economic and financial center in China. Yet behind that glamorous exterior, Shanghai still keeps its deep, quiet, and ancient charm. Mention Shanghai, and you mention the Huangpu River, the stream that is like the soul of the city. The Huangpu divides Shanghai into 2 parts, one side the old district carrying the marks of time, the other side the modern financial district glowing with lights and skyscrapers. Not only impressive for its luxurious appearance, Shanghai also overwhelms people with its modern pace and one of the largest subway systems in the world. Among countless outstanding buildings, the Oriental Pearl TV Tower stands out as an irreplaceable symbol, proud, prominent, and carrying the strong imprint of the city. And it would be a shame to come to Shanghai and skip the Bund, the icon that has entered poetry, cinema, and the memories of so many people. When night falls, the lights from the Bund reflect on the surface of the Huangpu River, creating a dazzling scene like the flow of wealth, fashion, and endless ambition rising up. Perhaps that is why Shanghai is not only a symbol of wealth and modernity, but also the place where past and future converge perfectly between ancient beauty and luxurious rhythm of life, creating a very special appeal that makes anyone who sets foot here once hardly able to forget. JINGDEZHEN, the 7-colored rainbow mountain range. That is real and makes many people think it's an illusion. JINGDEZHEN is one of the most spectacular natural wonders in China, famous for its mountain ranges draped in vibrant rainbow colors. Located in Gansu province, this place not only attracts tourists with its beyond imagination geological beauty, but also contains long-standing cultural values and historical imprints. From afar, JINGDEZHEN looks like a giant oil painting drawn by nature itself. The mountains here are formed from layers of sandstone and minerals stacked over millions of years. Then they were pushed up from the ground, bent, gradually eroded by wind and water, revealing layers of red, yellow, orange, green colors stacked in a mystical way. Each type of rock, each mineral has a different color. When exposed, they form color bands running along the mountain slopes, sometimes curving softly, sometimes straight as if someone painted them with a brush. Under the early morning sun, the colors here are light and smooth, like a layer of powder. By noon, the sun rises high. The entire mountain range brightens up. The color bands become sharp and vibrantly unbelievable. And when dusk falls, the colors become deeper and more profound, making the whole scene look like a giant silk carpet spread along the horizon. If you are someone passionate about majestic natural landscapes with a touch of mystery, then ZHANGJIAJIE is definitely one of the destinations worthy of being at the top of the must-visit once-in-a-lifetime list. Tengwang Pavilion, the architectural masterpiece and the soul of 1,000 years of poetry. Tengwang Pavilion is one of the 4 great famous towers of China, located in Nanchang City, Jiangxi Province. Not only impressive for its grand architectural beauty, the place is also tied to the immortal piece, Preface to the Tengwang Pavilion, by poet Wang Bo, the work that has enchanted generations with its beauty that is both majestic and filled with nostalgic longing for the homeland. With a space reaching up to 9 massive stories, Tengwang Pavilion is recreated in the architectural style of the Song dynasty, becoming a typical symbol of culture, art, and historical spirit of the Nanchang land. Every line of the structure shows the aesthetic level and masterful craftsmanship of ancient Chinese architecture. Each floor in the pavilion carries its own theme, its own appeal, opening up a fascinating journey of exploration into history, painting, and ancient literature for every visitor who stops by. The interior space is elaborately arranged, highlighted by exquisite reliefs and murals. The system of classical musical instruments, costumes, and ritual objects, preserved from long ago, evokes a culture that once shone brilliantly. The harmonious combination of vermilion red, imperial gold, and jade green has created a whole that is both splendid, majestic, and noble. Standing at the top of Tengwang Pavilion, visitors can take in the peaceful and poetic scenery of Nanchang City. With its timeless beauty and profound cultural value, Tengwang Pavilion is an unmissable stop for those who love Chinese culture, are passionate about ancient architecture, and want to return to the 1,000-year historical marks. Thousand Island Lake, the eastern Atlantis, and ancient cities sleeping peacefully in the depths. Thousand Island Lake in Zhejiang Province is a massive man-made lake formed in 1959 after a large hydroelectric dam was built on the Shinan River. With its vast water surface and more than 1,000 large and small islands scattered like jade gems, the place possesses one of the cleanest ecosystems with nearly complete forest coverage. However, the real beauty of Thousand Island Lake lies hidden deep beneath the crystal-clear water, where an ancient civilization sleeps peacefully in silence. Beneath the lake, at depths from 85 to 131 feet, are 2 ancient cities, Xicheng and Xiacheng, with histories stretching back thousands of years, especially Xicheng, with its exquisitely carved stone gates and ancient streets from the Eastern Han Dynasty still perfectly preserved thanks to the stable water temperature and absence of sunlight. It is considered an invaluable underwater archaeological treasure, where time seems to have stopped at the very moment the floodwaters rose to serve the Human Energy Project. Today, Thousand Island Lake not only supplies clean water and energy, but also serves as a unique tourist destination, combining natural scenery with historical exploration. Underwater robot expeditions have brought back astonishing images of a submerged world full of fascination, where ancient temples and houses still stand firm in the deep water. The parallel existence of a modern lake and an ancient city below has turned Thousand Island Lake into one of the most mysterious destinations in China. Northeast China, the land where the marks of many ancient ethnic groups converge. This is a special intersection space of Manchu, Han, Korean, Xianbei, Shiwei, Khitan, Mongolian, Jurchen, and many other indigenous communities, creating a picture that is both wild, mysterious, and thick with historical depth. Among them, the Manchu land is the birthplace of the Qing dynasty, one of the most powerful empires in Chinese history, and also the familiar setting in many Chinese-language films. Mentioning Manchuria, people often think of the palace with noble ladies, attendants, and imperial concubines. In addition, the Mongolian people also have many interesting things to explore. Among them, Nadam is the largest and most influential festival, usually held around July to August every year. On this occasion, people wear traditional costumes, ride horses, and gather on vast grasslands, creating an extremely vibrant and unique atmosphere. Traditional Nadam stands out with three main competitions: archery, horse racing, and wrestling. Through that, Nadam is not only a distinctive traditional festival, but also a typical symbol of Mongolian cultural identity and spirit. Not stopping there, this northeast region is also the convergence of many unique traditional costumes from other ethnic groups. Each style of clothing not only shows its own aesthetics, but also reflects living conditions, customs, beliefs, and cultural identity of each community. Northeast China therefore appears like a land that is both vast and profound, with mountains, plains, old forests, ancient relics, ancient legends, colors of ceremonial dress, and echoes of festivals. Giant panda, the creature that only eats and sleeps all day, but is the strongest diplomatic weapon of China. China's most formidable diplomatic weapon is not missiles, not aircraft carriers, but a black and white fluff ball that only knows how to eat and sleep all day. That is the giant panda, a creature that looks clumsy and lazy, but strong enough to make heads of state from major powers line up to hold it and take photos together. At conservation centers around Chengdu, the familiar scene is baby giant pandas, nearly 220 pounds, quietly sitting in the bamboo forest, legs stretched out, hands tightly hugging the bamboo stalk, leisurely munching for hours on end, creating a gentle, slow image that easily evokes affection, as if not caring about the power struggles in the outside world. Each day, they can spend more than 10 hours just gnawing on bamboo, then roll over and sleep in the most domineering poses. Yet, it is precisely this eat, sleep, roll, crawl lifestyle that makes the whole planet go crazy. When China rents or gifts a pair of giant pandas, it is not just about animal conservation. Behind the panda contract are billion-dollar handshakes, trade agreements, diplomatic relations softened thanks to the soft power named giant panda. Wherever pandas appear, visitor tickets sell out, social media explodes, media focuses their lenses, and the image of China quietly sneaks into every frame, every smile. Don't underestimate that clumsy appearance. Every yawn, every roll of the panda is a sophisticated soft attack on the global geopolitical chessboard. WUTAI Mountain, the Buddhist holy land recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. WUTAI Mountain, located in Shanxi Province, is considered one of the 4 most sacred and famous Buddhist mountains in China. With 5 majestic peaks, cool climate all year round, and hundreds of ancient temples, WUTAI Mountain is the ideal destination for those who want to learn about Buddhist culture, admire the majestic natural scenery, and experience a quiet, peaceful space as if separated from the noisy rhythm of the world. According to legend, this is the place where Bodhisattva Manjushri manifests and resides, making WUTAI Mountain a particularly important pilgrimage center in Buddhist life. Through many dynasties, this place has welcomed the footsteps of countless high monks, scholars, and even emperors who came to worship, pray for blessings, and find purity in their souls. Being recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site further affirms the great value of WUTAI Mountain, not only for Buddhism, but also for the cultural and historical treasure of humanity. WUTAI Mountain is not only a famous destination, but also a sacred land where the beauty of mountains, ancient temples, and legendary stories blend, making anyone who sets foot here hardly able to forget. SUZHOU Gardens, the classical garden masterpiece, as beautiful as a fairyland amid the human world. Chinese people pass on to each other that Jiangnan has the most beautiful gardens in the world, and SUZHOU has the most beautiful gardens in Jiangnan. SUZHOU Gardens are therefore considered the soul of Suzhou city through many dynasties. This city was formed around the 6th century BC, once an important cultural and political center, and in 1997, the ancient gardens here were recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage Site, a milestone affirming the unique artistic value found nowhere else. Without needing majestic mountains or vast seas and skies, SUZHOU Gardens still have the power to enchant people with a miniature world where every stone, bridge arch, pond, corridor, and plant cluster is deliberately arranged like a living painting. The most special thing about SUZHOU Gardens is not grandeur, but the feeling of stepping into a discreet, refined, gentle fairy realm full of poetic charm. The talent of SUZHOU Gardens is turning limited space into a feeling of endlessness. Even though the area is not too large, each viewpoint opens up a different scene, sometimes intimate, sometimes open, soft at times, contemplative at others. That is why SUZHOU Gardens are not only considered a classical garden masterpiece, but also the pinnacle of East Asian aesthetics, where people learn to create ideal nature right in real life. Beijing Opera, the colorful mask stage, telling 1,000 years of Chinese history. Beijing Opera is one of the representative traditional performing arts of China, combining singing, speaking, dancing, martial arts, and makeup. The stage is usually small, props minimal, but every detail carries many layers of meaning. The actors' faces are painted according to fixed rules. Red usually symbolizes loyalty, black for uprightness, white associated with cunning. Complex patterns are used to emphasize personality, status, or character's fate. Just by looking at the makeup on the face, familiar audiences can somewhat guess the character's personality before they even speak. The music in Beijing Opera uses a system of drums, gongs, string instruments, and horns, creating a very distinctive rhythm and tempo. Every hand gesture, footstep, eye movement, sleeve swing is meticulously prescribed, carrying a symbolic and representational nature for actions or inner states. The stories in Beijing Opera are mainly based on historical books, classical novels, or folk legends, reflecting moral concepts, family relationships, loyalty to the emperor, as well as social conflicts in the past. Therefore, Beijing Opera is not only a performing art form, but also a storage vault of memories and cultural thoughts of the Chinese people for thousands of years. The ancient villages of XIDI and HONGCUN, as beautiful as ink wash paintings. Located in Anhui province, XIDI and HONGCUN are two typical ancient villages, outstanding with intact ancient houses and harmonious natural scenery between people, mountains, rivers, and fields. Looking overall, the white walls, black tile roofs, and calm water surface create a close, peaceful, and lyrical scene. In HONGCUN, the water surface plays the role of visual center of the whole village, reflecting roofs and trees to create a soft, tranquil look. In XIDI, the system of small alleys, village gates, inner courtyards, and connected houses creates a feeling that is more intimate and deeper, yet very profound. The houses here often have quite delicate wood, brick, or stone carvings, showing the economic development and aesthetic level of Huizhou residents in the past. Walking between the stone-paved paths, hearing light footsteps echo off the house walls, seeing tile roof shadows cast on the pond surface, one can feel the warmth of people and the fresh air that is rarely found in noisy city streets. Therefore, these two villages are not only architectural heritage, but also places that help visitors clearly imagine the rhythm of life and aesthetics of rural China in many centuries past. Chinese paper cutting art. The traditional beauty of China during festival time. Chinese paper cutting art is an intangible cultural heritage of humanity recognized by UNESCO, with a history of more than 1,500 years from the Han Dynasty. Through many centuries, paper cutting is not only a folk decoration form, but has also become a symbol of intelligence, skill, and rich spiritual life of the Chinese people. From thin sheets of paper, artisans can create shapes of flowers and leaves, birds and animals, zodiac signs, blessing characters, or traditional life scenes with only precise cuts, full of rhythm. This art form appears especially often during Chinese New Year, weddings, and festival occasions as a symbol of luck, happiness, and longevity. Among them, red is the most commonly used color because it is tied to the concept of blessings, reunion, and beautiful new beginnings. Thanks to that, paper cutting works not only contribute to decorating living space, but also carry simple, good wishes in family life. Even in the modern era, when industrial decoration forms are increasingly popular, traditional paper cutting works still retain their own value because they remind people that sometimes the deepest beauty is created from the simplest materials and from the patience and talent of human hands. The four great cuisines. 4 addictive food empires that make tourists fly halfway around the world just to eat again. Have you ever eaten something so delicious that you're ready to book a ticket to come back just to enjoy it one more time? The 4 great cuisines of China are exactly such an empire, with that kind of appeal, rich and diverse, enough for you to explore for a lifetime without getting bored. On that flavor map, Sichuan cuisine stands out with its strong, spicy taste and the unique numbing sensation from chili peppers and Sichuan peppercorns. Hot pot, stir-fried, braised dishes, especially mapo tofu, often have bold flavors that create a hot and warm feeling, making the tongue tingle and sweat pour out while your hands keep picking up more. It is precisely this addictive spiciness that makes Sichuan cuisine extremely suitable for the humid, cold climate. In contrast, Cantonese cuisine conquers with its subtlety and lightness. Cantonese cooking emphasizes the freshness of ingredients, prioritizing methods that preserve the natural flavor like steaming, boiling, quick stir-frying. Dim sum is the most recognizable representative face. A steaming dim sum table with crystal-clear shrimp dumplings, plump shumai, small cute buns like a miniature painting for the philosophy, eat with your eyes first, then with your mouth. Hunan cuisine has a different color, rich, spicy hot, but leaning towards saltiness and smoky aroma. The braised, stewed, stir-fried dishes from this region evoke a warm, rustic feeling, very rice-accompanying and suitable for family meals. Shandong, one of the cradles of classical Chinese cuisine, is famous for its skillful stewing, simmering, frying, and stir-frying techniques. From there, Shandong people create dishes with deep flavors, reflecting the long agricultural and fishing traditions of this land. All of this creates a Chinese cuisine that is irresistibly delicious and unforgettable. SANQING Mountain, the famous Daoist mountain in Jiangxi province. Chinese people still call SANQING Mountain the #1 immortal mountain under heaven, and only when you set foot there yourself will you understand why this place deserves that title. After a rain, light, misty clouds gently wrap around the majestic peaks, the whole scene like a living ink wash landscape painting. White clouds swirl around rock cliffs, valleys, and forests, making the mountain both majestic and otherworldly. Walking on the winding stone path, you feel like you are wandering in a fairy realm where time slows down so people can listen to the wind, the leaves, and the echoing stream sounds. Not only a natural scenic spot, SANQING Mountain is also a sacred Taoist mountain where the three pure ones are worshipped. Taoist temples and shrines scattered across the mountain slopes make the scenery even more mysterious, like taking visitors on a journey of both exploration and spiritual contemplation. Canis Lake, the divine eye that changes color among the Altai Mountains. Hidden within the majestic folds of the Altai Mountains in northern Xinjiang, Canis Lake appears as a magnificent emerald, known as the Switzerland of the East. At an altitude of 4,508 feet above sea level, this crescent-shaped lake impresses not only with its vastness, but also with its magical ability to change colors according to the seasons and weather. Surrounding the lake are vast coniferous forests and lush green meadows, home to the Tuwa ethnic group with their ancient wooden houses and the sound of the chur flute echoing through the valley. Visitors to Canis come not only to admire the otherworldly beauty of the clouds and sky, but are also captivated by the mysterious legends of the Canis Lake Monster, or the wondrous Buddha's Light phenomenon appearing atop the fish-watching pavilion. When looking down from above, the entire panorama of Canis Lake appears like a soft silk ribbon, tied amidst the great forest, bringing a sense of peace and admiration for the arrangement of nature. This is the perfect stop for souls yearning to return to wild nature, where every frame is a vibrant masterpiece of art. Nanyin music, the sound heritage that still makes later generations enchanted. Nanyin music is one of the oldest music forms in China, originating from Guangzhou, Fujian, and recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage in 2009. Nanyin music expresses contemplation and inner cultivation, often described as a spiritual practice. The melodies are gentle and profound, usually including songs and instrumental pieces. The Nanyin ensemble includes the pipa lute, erhu fiddle, jiao flute, and especially bamboo clappers that create sharp, rustic, yet captivating sounds. All combine to create an ancient, refined, and unforgettable sound world. Known as the living fossil of ancient Chinese music, Nanyin preserves the blend between folk culture and Buddhism. Through many historical changes, this art form has not lost its vitality, but on the contrary, is being strongly continued in modern life. The interesting thing is that although it was once a field mainly held by men, today, women are also making important contributions to preserving and renewing Nanyin. helping this heritage continue to resonate through many generations. Nanyin is not just music to listen to, but sound to feel, to remember, and to be enchanted by the beauty of a heritage that transcends time. Tianqi Lake, famous for its haunting water monster legend. Tianqi Lake is known as the Emerald Jewel at the foot of the Tian Shan Mountains because of its crystal-clear jade-colored water. The lake watercolor is not fixed, but changes according to light and weather, creating a mystical landscape and giving the emerald jewel on the mountain peak its unique beauty. Surrounding the lake water are dark green spruce forests reflected on the lake surface, creating a sparkling and illusory beauty. In 2016, the entire Tianqi Lake scenic area was added by UNESCO to the World Heritage List. In addition, people living in this area pass on stories that a huge black strange monster first appeared on the lake's surface in 1903. However, to this day, there is still no specific evidence about their real identity. Some researchers think this is an ancient reptile species left over from prehistoric times. The legend of Tianqi Lake and the mysterious lake monster is really fascinating, isn't it? Do you think this mysterious creature is real? Comment your thoughts below right away. Laojun Mountain, a space tied to Taoist tradition. If there is a place where time stands still, it is Jiguan Cave. With a history spanning over 200 million years, this cave is a masterpiece sculpted by water and stone. True to its name, the God's Granary, every corner of the cave leaves visitors in awe with magnificent limestone formations like natural treasures carefully hidden away. A complex tunnel system, 1,200 feet long, leads visitors deep underground, where the climate consistently remains at an ideal 50 degrees Fahrenheit to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. The most spectacular highlight is the deep underground lakes containing over 3 million gallons of water. Under the mystical lights, the intersection of thousand-year-old stalagmites and crystal-clear water creates a grand scene, making anyone who sets foot here catch their breath in amazement. China endures as a civilization shaped by extremes, mountains that shelter faith, rivers that nourish empires, deserts that test survival, and cities that carry ancient memory into the future. Its story is not written by one dynasty, one landscape, or one people alone, but by the constant meeting of geography, culture, and time across an immense living world. So, what allows a nation this vast and varied to remain recognizably itself through centuries of change? If this journey revealed something new to you, like the video, subscribe, and continue with us into the next hidden chapter. There is still so much of China left to understand.